What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Hobby Talk, a cardboard podcast. This is episode number 47. And if this is your first time checking out the podcast, thank you so much for joining. Hopefully, you stick around and enjoy today's episode. Ricky, good morning. How are you?
Uh, Good morning. I'm good. Our Chicago Cubs finally clinched the playoff berth officially. Hopefully, the Red Sox to do the same soon, even though they're not looking too hot.
Shoot, they forgot how to play baseball. It was the Yankee series, and they forgot how to play baseball.
I kind of expected that. I mean, as long as we won the season series already against those frauds. But yeah, the weather's nice. Actually, my birthday's in 2 days, so that's kind of fun.
Woo! Happy early birthday from all of us
Thank
here
you.
on the East Coast to you in the Midwest.
The big 3-0.
Whoa,
Yeah.
Grandpa! Damn,
I know. I'm picking up my cane tomorrow.
I hope so. Get the walker too when you're 35.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh my goodness.
AARP membership.
Well, do the bones in the joints still work and everything, or are those gone
For
too?
now.
For
Taking
now.
it morning by morning.
Yep. I can relate to that, and I'm not 30 yet, also, but I will be soon, and I will be in the same boat as you. So, nonetheless, it seems like Ricky, we're going to be focusing a lot on Pokemon today, just based off of different things. Deal you did. I found an article online, literally just typed in Pokemon hobby into Google, and I literally found it that way. We're obviously going to talk about the market manipulation. I want to talk about price points for different grades when it comes to Pokemon. And yes, we will get into sports as well for those that do love us talking about sports. Before we dive into anything, though, is there anything pressing in regards to the aftermath of, say, I know we're a couple months now removed, but from the national West Coast show, Fanatics Fest. Obviously, Fanatics Fest announced their next year date for the same weekend as the West Coast card show, but they're also
And
trying to line it
Dallas.
up in Dallas. Yeah, I did forget about that too, actually. Thank you for reminding me. But they try to line it up around the FIFA championship game, which I believe is in MetLife Stadium. So I do understand why they're going for that kind of interconnection. Uh, but like the amount of big shows in such a short period of time, or just the same weekend, and then you got the national 2 weeks later, I think is going to be hobby defining, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I just kind of wanted to start there with I don't know if we talked about it last episode or not. I think we did. But now that I've had a chance to kind of sit and think about it, it could be an absolute disaster. And I don't know if the hobby's ready for it.
See, so the problem with not one, not two, not but three huge shows being in one weekend, not even counting like smaller shows and stuff like that, local shows that people go to,
Mm-hmm.
is people are going to have to decide which show they go to. Obviously. So that's, you know, less people walking each show, um, the quality of vendors not being as great as potential as it could be. Not uh, people not spending as much money at one show as they possibly could. So it's not a good idea. All three shows are going to be hurt from it. I think they're just trying to they're like having a pissing contest to see which show is going to be bigger. I guess.
And I want to touch on what you kind of said about the lack of vendors and the lack of foot traffic. Now, where these shows are so spread out, I think the natural traffic of people who live locally to these shows, I think will be fine. if you live in Texas, you're going to go to the Dallas. If you live in California, or at least Southern California, you're going to go there to Burbank. And then if you live near New York or anywhere in the Northeast, really, you're probably going to go to Fanatics Fest. Um, the local shows, I think, are definitely going to have a massive impact just because those local shows happen so often. Oh, the Fanatics Fest once a year. Oh, the Burbank show once a year. So let's go there and say, oh, we can hit our local show next month or 2 months, whenever it runs. So I think from that angle, the foot traffic will be impacted at the local show level. But in terms of the vendors, though, if you're set up at a small show, 30 table VFW kind of show, chances of you setting up at a Fanatics Fest or Dallas, I would think are two different types of vendor audiences. Whereas the foot traffic, though, I still think at the scale of like that influencer level is probably going to have an impact, because what influencer goes where and how they do it, I could care less. I think that's really the only impact you're going to really see. But if they go spread out, then you get a lot of coverage and different angles from these shows. But it is definitely a bad idea. Ultimately, the money is going to be pretty tough, because hey, maybe you can go to Fanatics Fest on Friday and then your local show on Saturday or Sunday, or pick any of the days how you want to do it. And then not everyone has an unlimited budget, so let's say you only have $1,000, 500 here, 500 there, instead of just spending the whole $1,000. Just using simple numbers here at the one show. So, and then you got the national. Regardless of what show you go to or how you divvy it up, you still have the national 2 weeks later. And I think based off of at least my negative perception of the national this past year, and I'm sure others, and I've talked to others who have had similar impressions of the national, I don't think there's going to be that much hype, especially where you see a lot of people do have fun at Dallas, where a lot of people did have fun at the Fanatics Fest. And I think they're going to maybe prioritize that because they kind of know the national, I don't want to say has lost its lust, but it's definitely losing or taking a step back in comparison to these other big shows. I don't know if that's something you would necessarily agree with me on, but that's kind of where I see it right now.
Um, I wouldn't say it's losing. It's just that there's competition now. Like the national is still the national. It's still the event that everyone looks forward to. It's still the event that everyone wants to go to and all that stuff. But it's not the only show. With like
Would
Fanatics Fest popping up, West Coast popping up, Dallas getting bigger.
would you say the national is still the premier sports card hobby show?
Sports card
Well,
hobby,
just
yes.
okay, because obviously, like you got like Collecticon, that's obviously more centered around Pokemon and other TCG, but where you have the show like again, it's hard to compare the two because they're really two different things. But like Fanatics Fest, where you do have the card show element, the memorabilia, and all that jazz. I think that's heading in the direction, if they continue to do it right, which just from the one time that we were there and the one time that I was able to kind of experience it, seemed like they did a pretty good job with it, especially compared to what I heard from the year before and how that was run. But I think Fanatics Fest could be something that really picks up a lot of steam and then takes the mantle of being the premier hobby event, I guess would be a better way to put it. Obviously, it's a much smaller card show, and that's why it's hard to compare the two, where the National is just a card show.
Right.
So,
But do we want Fanatics taking that over too, though?
and now that brings another question. And I meant to mention this too, is I meant to actually message you this probably 4 days ago. The lawsuit between Panini and Fanatics, I think a court hearing is coming up soon about that.
Really?
I think I saw somewhere where Panini and their legal team need to bring to the table evidence and proof, facts, and all that fun stuff to prove against Fanatics becoming a monopoly and trying to become a monopoly in order to prevent certain things from happening. What those certain things happening, I have no idea. But if Panini's able to prove it, then Fanatics isn't going to be able to do certain things. I don't know. I'm going to try to look it up really quickly on the fly. So I'll just kind of leave you with this 2 cents of mine while I look it up. Do I want Fanatics to have something else? Obviously, they have baseball with Tops. They're going to be getting the NFL license. They're going to be getting the basketball license. They already have this license and that license.
WWE,
You
UFC.
pick anything literally under the sun. They're going to get Premier League, I think, in like a year or two. Um, I've always been pro Fanatics Tops. I'm sorry, because of Panini being who and what they are. I'm thinking Fanatics can't be much worse, but there are obviously concerns from people, whether it's shops or just collectors, the how the product's going to get distributed and allocated and handed out to folks. Like obviously Fanatics would rather just funnel it through their website so they can make all the money instead of having to send it out to shops like me and then for customers to buy it off of me. So it's a double-bladed sword in my opinion. I'm remaining hopeful because really that's all I can really stay is hopeful until proven otherwise. But I don't think now that you kind of beg the question, I don't think I would want Fanatics to have the mantle of we're the best card show or we're the best hobby show out there, while we are doing basically everything else at the same time. But what they're doing though is interesting and it's different. And I think that's kind of what the hobby does need.
Yeah, it's definitely. It's hard to say I don't want Fanatic Fest to be big because like it was a great event and people loved it. Obviously, they loved the presence of all the celebrities. They loved the card show. They love all the track stuff. But man, if Fanatics takes over the card show scene too, that's going to be tough.
I agree, and it's going to be very challenging, I think, for collectors specifically to keep up because of the amount of products that you could probably expect from their basketball angle, baseball, football angles, and all their products. I mean, it's tough for collectors to keep up even with, Panini pumping it all out. But I think at the end of the day, it's good to at least see them trying to do something instead of just taking all these licenses and essentially doing nothing with it. And kind of like what Panini. I mean, you don't see Panini running a Panini card show or a Panini event.
Right.
So like, I think the effort at least needs to be applauded. It's never going to be a perfect process, but like the National's been around for 5 years or whatever, and Fanatics Fest has only been run twice, and Fanatics Fest is so much more immersive than the National because the National just a giant card show, and what they do is great, and it's been great for a very long time. But I just think the interactionness gets little kids involved. It gets people spending more money, rocking exclusive and feeling, like I don't want to say they're not feeling premiere, but like they got premium stuff because you can only get it from this event, so to speak. I think that's kind of what people really are enjoying and sinking their teeth in. I can't find any article about. There's one from the Washington Post, but I don't want to sign in. I mean, I don't want to pay for the article. So I thought I saw something that the case was hearing was coming up in September, but I could be very wrong. Anyways,
I don't know, but yeah, with the National, the most immersive thing is like besides the autographs, the TriStar autographs, is like the Breakers Pavilion.
oh God, don't get me started on that. I can't do it.
Where you could just
Not today.
break things.
Okay. All right. Well, hold on. I do have a comment that I had on a video of mine. I'll pull it up because I feel like it's kind of fitting since you mentioned breaks. You did it, not me. It was a video about whatnot repackers killing card shows.
Right.
No. I'm gonna no, maybe. I had somebody comment saying, "Great insights. Can we sustain this?" Again, this is in regards to my whatnot repackers are killing card shows. Great insights. Can we sustain this? I've always been anti-repacks, but isn't slowing down. Now, I'm just gonna give my thoughts about it, and then I'll hand the mic over. Can we sustain this? I don't think so. Nothing is truly sustainable long term, especially in this hobby. Now, I don't know about other niches, but this isn't a comic book podcast. It's not a video game podcast. I don't really care nor know. Can we sustain this? No, because outside of collecting, so many different things have come and gone, and they've never been sustainable. Breaking is all is pretty much fallen off a cliff, really, and that was like the most sustainable thing in the hobby 3 years ago. At least that's what we were told.
Hmm.
Repacks aren't slowing down. You're right, they're not for now. But so wasn't like sealed case breaking. That wasn't slowing down. That was supposed to be the biggest thing and revolutionary for the next 30, 40 years. And look what that has become. There's always going to be something new, fancy, and better to replace it. Well, I don't know about better. That's always going to come and go. Give it time. It might be a slog for now, but it'll eventually get worn out. It'll definitely get replaced by something. That's it. No big rant.
Well, the breaking thing, I think, has somewhat to do with the availability of retail, because now it's sitting on the shelves everywhere. Basically, 2 or 3 years ago, scalpers were getting all of that up.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. In that sense, I don't know what could replace repacks. Like, I'm going to see. You know what? You will. You're not going to see like Target or Walmart selling PSA slabs in store.
Look at GameStop. And
Yeah.
we've seen Walmart at the National. They were at the West Coast Card Show advertising, "Oh, get your collecting needs with us. Here's all these boxes. Here's Ultra Pro supplies or whatever it may be." I
That would be pretty wild if they entered that space.
so I have this weird enjoyment of watching videos online of like why certain businesses like went bankrupt or just like fell off a cliff and now are like completely irrelevant. And the majority, the reason, or there's two reasons why. One, they expanded too fast and couldn't afford the expansion in terms of like, oh, let's have 5 locations. Now let's have 500 locations. Usually that's a big one. Also, dumb spending along the way is another one. But really, the big one is these discount big box stores just offering crazy variety at good prices. Usually what killed off a lot of these businesses in like the 90s, early 2000s, so to speak. And obviously that's Walmart and Target. Now, where was I going with this? Oh, Walmart and Target is no foreigner in terms of killing off these businesses. Walmart's has always sold sealed product, always sold sealed product, 20, 30 years now. But now you see them really diving into the deep end, like we saw at the National, or how I saw it at the West Coast show, really trying to make an imprint on selling this product, selling that product. We've seen the reports of crap. Oh, what's the company that distributes the sports cards products? MJ Holding. Yes, thank you. We've seen them even trying to have a suspicious, sneaky second account, so to speak, to be able to kind of jack up the prices and sell it on Walmart's website or whatever it may be, because Walmart has third-party sellers. So they're not innocent in this, and I think that's kind of what they're trying to do, is maybe try to squeeze out people like me, squeeze out breakers, squeeze out whoever sells supplies, BCW, Ultra Pro. I don't know, but I definitely think that Walmart specifically, leave Target out of it for now until we see them at the National next year, trying to make a footprint for themselves in this hobby more than they should, because you don't see them going to like housing expos and be like, wow, look at all these curtains and pillowcases that we're selling. Wow, come buy from us and break linen on our platform. That was
Yeah, because Walmart allows third-party sellers on their app, kind of like an Amazon thing.
yes.
Actually, you know what? Let me see if they do something.
I was literally about to go look up on Walmart's website right now. Who is this? I don't know who that is. Okay, so we all know, or we should. Actually, there's one more thing I want to talk about before we kind
Oh,
of pivot. Stand by. Stand by, everybody. Oh, see, there you go. I was about to show you this. Well, this wasn't what I was going to talk about. I was going to. Oh my God, is requesting bypass? Yeah, sure. No, wrong article. No. What is it? Where is? Oh, here it is. Share is Mega Evolutions, which hasn't even released yet, and you can pre-order on Walmart's website. Pre-order price guarantee. Wow, so fancy. Um, we all know that Walmart doesn't sell hobby boxes or booster boxes. Physically, you cannot go into a store and get a hobby product. However, you can mysteriously get it online. Nope, it's sold by a third party card shop live. They're out of Las Vegas, whatever. But let's just type in sports cards and let's just kind of play this game. Oh my God. Okay, here we go. This Donruss Elite Football Blaster Box, that's a $24.99 retail product, I believe. Don't quote me on that. It might be $29.99. They have it for $38. They have a mega box of select football. I think that's supposed to be 50. That's last year's. That's supposed to be 50. That's supposed to be 30. So, I mean, it's supposed to be, again, and we're not picking on Walmart here. What I'm trying to showcase is that they're sold by third-party sellers, like you said, Ricky, like Amazon is. So when you see things online at Walmart, it's not actually Walmart that's doing it. So that's kind of like the confusion I'm having with this Walmart kind of motion that they're kind of trying to
right.
have an impact in the hobby. Like, it's not Walmart specifically. Like, you don't see Amazon doing this, and people could go buy this stuff on Amazon too and pay 3 times the price. So like, I'm just confused when it's not Walmart selling it. It's 941 Sports Cards selling it. Like, obviously Walmart's going to get a cut, but they're going to get a cut from no matter who is selling what, whether it's pillowcases or bath towels, sports cards, tools, whatever it may be, groceries. If you're a third-party seller, Walmart's getting a cut anyways. It's just a little confusing of a process, or confusing trying to wrap my head around Walmart's process, I should say, about like why
Yeah,
they're
I
trying to
mean,
pump it up.
it is weird to think. I mean, yeah, I guess at the national or booths like that, they're just promoting third-party sellers.
Like that,
I,
and like you
I
can go get it at
remember,
the store, I guess.
I remember we walked like through it. Some I don't specifically remember like, what they had there.
Oh, you cut out there. Can you repeat that?
I don't specifically remember what Walmart had at their booth.
I don't remember the national, but I know at the West Coast show they had like select basketball mega box, just a couple of retail products of like some of the newer stuff.
Yes.
But
See,
not
but
much.
they're not selling that at stores themselves. It's going to be online via third-party sellers. So what are they really promoting?
And like, and that's the thing, is like they're not pumping their own brand, so to speak, of hey, buy these sports cards from us, Walmart. They're pumping it for their third party sellers. And yeah, some of the products in the store, and I guess maybe you're trying to drive the traffic to the store, maybe. But I mean, I definitely would want to try to understand more about this. And maybe there's an article out there, maybe that does kind of dive into it a little bit more. There is another comment in regards to the whatnot repackers are killing card shows. I guess kind of going back to repackers and breaks. This guy says, good info, brother. Unfortunately, I don't think breaking or repacks are going anywhere. If we sat down, actually, we have sat down 2 years ago, a year ago, and I know me specifically have bitched and complained about breaking here on this podcast, and of course on the YouTube channel here in the shop. And I know you've had your fair share of hot takes with whatnot and breaking and all that stuff, and we haven't talked about it separately from repacks in probably a good long time. Like, we really haven't sat down and complained about breaking is so bad. Oh, breaking this, breaking that. It's always in
Or
correlation to repacks. It's just, I don't want to say it's a thing of the past because it's not. Because there's a guy that comes to the shop and he buys like 5-6 blasters of whatever. He's like, oh, I'm going to do a break on whatnot tonight. Good luck. But it's not that much of a thing anymore. It's really not. Like, I think it's always going to be a component of the hobby.
Right. Like people just love the gambling aspect of it. That's never going to change. Like degens who are up at 2 a.m. scrolling through what, trying to just spend some money on some. That's never going to change.
On
Breaking will always be around.
like, here's just Whatnot's page. Like, free Obsidian hobby break, highest floors and case hits. That's just a team break giveaway. With they're doing their X Factor 1500 2000. I'm just gonna click on it. I don't know if this will go through. Oh, we'll go through. What are we doing? See, they're doing their repacks. That's what they're. I think that's what they're doing. Maybe they're trying to figure out the teams for this break.
Is this live?
Yeah, I believe so. Can you hear it or no?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Oh, interesting. Cracked Grail, 10 number of boxes. The floor is 300 to 600, and the ceiling. Yeah, okay, so those are the repacks. But I think they're trying to figure out. This is another reason. Okay, here we go. There's another reason why I hate these breaks is it takes so damn long. And like they're filling the break spots, but as you can see in the background, they're also advertising the repacks too.
And it's the best value and vibes on the app.
Oh, best value. Whoa, vibes. That's crazy. We could play this game even more. Let's see.
See, this is how they get you. Now you're addicted.
But I have 117 credit. I haven't used it. I've had that credit for 3 years.
We got a lot of good stuff today, man.
Yeah, we got a lot of good stuff.
Speaking of slabs, my early bird card of the day right here. Here we go. That's
okay, at least he's selling the individual singles. That I got no problem with. He's selling this Michael Jordan, Fleer, whatever the reprint
Let's
is.
do it.
So at least he's selling the reprint. That's the singles. That's no issue for me. Let's see. What are we doing here? Wildcard rips with hidden gems. Is this a repack product or is this actual wildcard?
Free rookie card.
Oh, it's actual wildcard.
Kyle McCord.
I don't know, Ricky. Maybe breaking's more of a thing than we thought.
Well,
we're not on Whatnot, so we don't know.
$11. If we would have been at 15, I would have gave you another card to go with it. But,
maybe we're just wrong and we just don't know anything.
I know rip and ships are popular for Pokemon.
Oh, good God, rip and ships. Endless rips of all sports, pro and college. Take all my cards. All right, this is. There, we're done here.
That was so thrilling.
That was I was at least 9:30 my time, 8:30 your time. Yeah, so riveting. Best vibes. It's 9:30, and we're talking about vibes. Like I'm still trying to wake up, as I'm sure you are. It's only earlier for you, but yeah, it's just maybe breaking is a little bit more, but no one's talking about it though, like they once did. No one's complaining about it until they check their bank account. That's when they complain about it. So
right.
I don't
It's
know.
like going out for a night drinking and seeing how much you drank in the morning.
Yeah, and you're like, wait, I spent $300 at Applebee's? Huh? Alrighty.
It's like, I spent $300 on Whatnot. I didn't even get anything good.
Oh, you don't even get the base cards on top of it. I know you mentioned Rip and Chip, and I think that is the dumbest thing. I've talked about that with somebody else just recently, this past week.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree. Rip and ships are
just buy the product, have it shipped to your house, and just rip it yourself. See, I think the people that don't care about the joy of the hobby do participate in the rip and chips, because although ripping is expensive, we all know that. It's very risky. We all know that. But if you're going to buy the product anyways and have someone else rip it for you, why not just get the excitement and joy of ripping it yourself? You're going to walk away with nothing anyways. Might as well just do it yourself. I mean, that's part of the excitement.
Hey, listen, I agree. Like you said, it's all the gamblers who are doing that. That's why, like, I see posts on Facebook of screenshots of people had. It's like, oh, I just hit this pack selling your for blah blah, and it happened 5 minutes ago. Like they don't even have the card in hand yet.
There was. Oh, I that's something that kind of like bugs me too. Is like, oh, I just hit this on Whatnot last night. Look at this, and it's like a $300 card. All the power to you. You got into it for $50. That's awesome, and it's a $300 card. But like, how many $50 spots have you spent in order to get that $300 card? Probably more than what the card's actually worth. You know, cumulatively, not obviously just in that one given night. Maybe in that one given night. I don't know. Shoot, what was I gonna say? A guy came in. Crap, he came in the other day. He's gonna bug the crap out of me. I'll remember it. Maybe not. While I think about this, we mentioned that we were going to talk about Pokemon. We haven't even talked about Pokemon just yet. Ricky, you've made some epic deals last week or so. Some bonker deals, buying stuff, selling stuff. See you later. Welcome home. Talk to us about with the deals that you made, the first deal you made, and why you did it. Because I'm curious.
Yeah, so the first sale I did was the Leafeon VMAX from Evolving. Yeah, from Evolving. It was that, the Espeon from Fusion Strike. Both of which I got from Fanatics Fest, actually. It was those two cards.
And, okay, yeah, no, keep going, sorry.
And then an EV promo from Prismatic, which, so that shot really quickly. I went for $55 like 3 weeks before I sold it for 110. So that was a nice little, double up. But then, yeah, I've been trying to move on from the Leafeon. Yeah, so those three. When did I post that?
You posted this August 31st, so like 2.5 weeks ago.
Yeah, those three are all gone now.
Wait, now remind me. I know you told me, but I forget. These weren't all the same deal, right? The two two Evolutions were in the one deal, and then we'll get to Lugia in a second. That was a separate deal, right? Okay.
Yeah, so I sold the Evolutions and the EV for a pretty good deal. Turn around, flip that into some cards that I have coming in, both sports and Pokemon, actually.
Sports? Whoa.
Yeah, little baseball. Just easy stuff I know I can move quickly.
Okay. Like that.
Yeah, so basically that deal got done. And then the Lugia, which I bought August 31st, that time, I guess, for $900.
Bang. Which was strong at the time, I believe. Maybe it was more of 1,000-ish.
Yeah, it was like $950 to $1,000 at the time.
Well, actually, hold on. I was at the West Coast show, and people were asking $1,150, $1,200 for the Lugia Bear. Mm-hmm. So you got actually, if I just do the math right in my head,
I got a great deal.
Yeah, because I think it was like the highest sale of it at the time was like $1,100, and people were obviously asking over, and such like that. Now it's probably a $1,200, $1,300 card now. But yeah, if you bought it for $9, and then you said you sold it for
12.
12.
3 weeks later. 2 weeks later, really. That's
crazy.
Yeah, and then so that I turned that Lugia into go to the next post. Into that right there. This beauty.
There's a blaze. Look at the birds. The birds.
I know. I'm so excited about these.
The certs are 3 off. That's crazy, right? Yeah, 3 off.
Yeah, these birds are joining.
Look at that blaze again.
These birds. So now I have 2 PSA 10s and 3 CGC 10s to go with my
Ice
as of right now, 22 raw singles of the birds.
Just corner the market. I love it.
Trying.
So
Yeah, so
let me
that-
ask you this.
And then this guy,
Oh, let me pull it back up. I'll pull it back up. So people
Stellar
can see it.
Crown, Squirtle.
There
So
it is.
So basically, I turned that $100 into that lock right there. So that was
Now,
a nice little.
what was the process in trading 3 crazy good cards? Or I'm not trading, selling 3 crazy good cards, 3 and others. Obviously, the 2 evolutions and the Lugia. I know they were separate deals, but was the plan all along was to move into? I know you mentioned about the Blaziken for the last couple of weeks, almost a month now. Was that always the plan? Was to move into that, or was it kind of like a, hey, let me just sell this now, pocket the money, do something with it later? Oh, look, a Blaziken showed up. Oh, well, let's buy it.
Yeah, so I was like I was telling you before we started recording. I think the Blade. I don't think the Blaziken has reached its full potential yet, just because of what I've seen other cards do in the market.
Mm-hmm.
So with the Leafeon VMAX, it hasn't really seen the jump that other cards have from between the time that I got it at Fanatics Fest and when I sold it. So I was gonna get it. The Espeon, it saw a little jump, so I wanted to cash in on that. And then the EV promo, that was a quick flip. That was easy.
Easy, he says. It's easy.
But yeah, I got that deal. Turned that into the 151 Blastoise that I have coming in. Mewtwo GX from Shining, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then the sports cards that I have. Yeah, so with the Lugia,
That's what I wanted to ask about next, because I know
yeah,
that was like you were after that card crazy, and then you got it at
I
a good
love that
price.
card. I love that card. It's my favorite card. I have that painting of it. I have the Silver Tempest booster box that I'm never selling. Like that's my favorite card, and
It's
I'm
gone.
sure I'll buy. I'm sure I'll buy another one someday, but I just got too good of a deal on that for me to hold it, I guess.
You say the Blaziken hasn't reached its full value. Do you think the Lugia has? And that's why you sold it?
I don't, just because of the pop, I don't see it doing what the Gengar has, which is kind of like, I don't want to say I'm going to base all my buys and sales on that card, but to see what that card has done is kind of crazy. Because at Fanatics Fest, it was a $1,400 card ish, 13, 14. Because I remember Trent trying to sell it for $1,400, and now it's over $2,000.
Isn't that crazy?
Right?
Isn't that just
When
crazy?
was that? When was that? June?
Fanatics Fest, yeah, it was June.
Then the June, yeah. So with
Here's the pop report on the Lugia.
over 20,000.
That's just crazy.
Now do the Blaziken. I haven't looked it up. I actually don't even know what it's
It's
at.
gonna take me. What's that? Is that Chilling Rain? What set is that?
Chilling Rain, Chilling Rain.
Chilling Rain. Crap. Now I got pressure on because the screen's being shared. Okay. What card number? Actually, I could just pull it up right here.
201.
201. 201. And where is it? 5,559. And it's also an older card too, so you would think
Right, so that's the
more
thing.
have hit the mark. But people were ripping. I don't know about Chilling Rain, but people were ripping Silver Tempest left and right.
Yeah, like this is the chase card for Chilling Rain, the Sword and Shield. It's almost 5 years old now. So that was kind of my basis on buying it and wanting it, is that it hasn't seen the growth that I think it's going to see yet. Because it's a beautiful car too. It's cool. It looks good.
What's 215? I was looking up the card number for.
It looks better in the CTA level 2.
Hell yeah, that's what I like to hear. Crap, where is it?
Gengar?
Oh no, I wanted to see what the Moonbreon was. 18,000. Gengar, was that Chilling Reign too? What was that? No,
Fusion.
thank you. Jesus, Fusion Strike. So I guess this could also segue into a different conversation. Something that I wanted to also talk about was shit. Oh, sorry. Was is the pop report. And this was a conversation I wanted to kind of bring up, but I thought it would have been a pain in the butt to kind of do it. What's the card number on the Gengar? Do we know? Gengar VMAX 157. Somebody saying 157.
65. No, sorry, that's wrong.
4,000. 271. Then what card do I have here? You said 271?
I believe so.
Where is? Oh, here we go. 11,989. So okay, so let me ask this question then, and obviously try to like take your personal, emotions out of it. Does pop report even actually matter to people? And I beg this question because we're seeing the stupid price hikes of the Pikachu Van Gogh promo just keep going up and up and up and up and up and up, and it's just like, at very best, this should be like a $400 or $500 card at the best, because it was a promo and there's a million of them everywhere. In the pop last time I saw, I'm gonna stop sharing so I can miserably try to look this card up because it's not from a specific set. It's just like it's a 40-something thousand pop in a PSA 10. Why are we paying $2,000 for this card? So I don't know.
I don't understand that either. That one's weird. I mean, it's a cool card, don't get me wrong, but I have no idea why it's so much money. Every post I see about it, it keeps going up. It's funny with that one too, though, because what PSA 10 of the card itself is doing,
Yeah.
the Pikachu and the he's sealed in the wrapping, PSA 10 is doing the same, which is crazy because with that, they're grading the plastic. They're not grading the card. And I don't know if people know that or not when they're buying it.
Yeah. It's
But
funny
the card,
you say that.
the card itself is not graded.
I saw a guy he said he had 10 of them at the start of the West Coast show, and there was probably 5 left of the Pikachu graded in the wrapper, and they were all 10s on it. And I'm like, and it's obviously it's a bigger slab, and I have this weird fascination by cards in bigger slabs, not like jumbo cards, but like the jumbo downtowns, I think, are a good example. It just feels nice because it feels like it's meant to be something. Like you hang on the wall, it's like that big.
Right.
And the Pikachu promo wrapped in the plastic still, not this drastically bigger slab, but it's a little bit bigger. And I just think that's a lot neater or a lot more niche than say an actual regular card. And the guy was asking $1,000 for it at the time. I'm like, wow, that's such a good deal. Or is it because it's such a niche market? And when I scan it or look it up with alt, it just brings up the regular sales of the regular Van Gogh. And I'm like, does this have a market? So I tried to look it up on eBay, and they were probably like $600-$700 at the time, in like PSA 10s. And like you said, that they're going for stupid money now, which I think is absurd.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
And PSA needs to update the average price of this Van Gogh at $1,478 with the most recent, I think, touch 22. I want to say 2,200.
Yeah, it's definitely plus 2K.
But look at this, 42,809 in a PSA 10, and a 9 is right behind it. And obviously, we see the drastic price difference here. But again, we're not going to value the 9 more because it's a lower pop. Obviously not. That's not what, this hobby likes to do, because 9s are just garbage, right? But a card that has 43,000 is more expensive than the Lugia, the Moonbryon, the Blaziken, the Gengar. I mean, all these cards that I just kind of like looked up on the fly while you were talking. There's more of this card out there than those cards. And you can't pull this card, obviously, but it was a promo. If you bought something from somewhere, you got it for free. Whereas you'd have to pay at the time anywhere from 100 and something to now, what, 2,000 for an Evolving Skies box just to have the chance to pull, the Moonbryon at the very least. And, I say 100 because Fusion Strike and Chilling Rain boxes were probably about $100 at their lowest years ago. Yeah, I know, right? In order to pull those chase cards. It just absolutely makes no sense to me. Now, if this was like a card that was 10 years old, I'm all for it, because how many of those 43,000 pop cards are on the market, not in people's collections forever? Obviously over the course of 10 years, you expect a lot of them to get graded over the course of time. But this card literally came out like last year or 2 years ago, I guess, in 2023. Absurd to me. Absolutely absurd. So it just begs the question, do people care about, in Pokemon at least, rarity of a card? And I'm going to say no. It's clearly not.
I mean, I think it plays a factor with this card in particular. This card makes no sense. I don't know what to think about this card. I don't understand what, like I said, it's a nice card. Don't get me wrong. It's cool. It's niche, whatever.
I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second. Keep going.
But it should not be doing those numbers. I don't get it.
I agree.
Like, is that just a reflection of this market as a whole? Is it a reflection of that card?
I mean, could it be? I mean, is it because it's Pikachu? Or could it be the story behind it? I don't know.
Is now the time to buy? Is it still early? Like, how much more potential does it have? Like, I feel like before every bump or whatever card, we ask that question: how much more room or how much more can go higher? And it just keeps going higher.
And like that's kind of like the thing, like kind of what you were kind of alluding to is like, oh, you don't think the Blaziken has reached its potential yet, and that's why you kind of thought it was a good time to buy it now, because the trajectory is older card, not older. I mean, it's like a 4-year-old card older. It's only going up. I mean, all of them really across the board, and you've even expressed the artwork is cool. I'm sure you probably think it's the coolest out of all of them, maybe second to the Lugia. But if it makes sense, it makes sense. But I mean, now we're just talking about a card that's like, I mean, I don't know what you got it for, but $1,000 card maybe for a card that has I think I looked it up, less than, I think it was like 5,500 was the pop report, or maybe that was the Gengar.
Blaziken, yeah, it's like 55.
Around there, right? For a card that has a significant fraction, like what, an eighth, a ninth of the pop report of the Pikachu Van Gogh.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably end up holding this one a little bit. Definitely gonna hold my Articunos. Wait until those reach $1,000 each.
Sorry, I'm trying to
sell all my Articunos, sit on an island for a year.
I mean, now we could talk about certain other cards having some insane value as well, that are just going to be crazy price down the road, because we're not even considering these cards down the road.
Yeah, like the Articuno, I'm just going to accumulate.
There we go.
For as long as I can. I think this is going to be one of those cards. I'm not a financial advisor. Don't take my advice. But I think this is going
to sue them.
I think this is going to be one of those cards where, 3, 4, 5 years down the road, people are like, wow, that used to be $20. I remember when I could get that for $20. Just like the Magic card. I'm not saying it has that potential, but you never know. You never know.
And that's the thing with any of these conversations that we may have or other people may have is you just never know. I don't know if you heard that. I'm trying to pull something up here. Oh, I think I took it down. All right, you guys are just gonna have to believe me on this because I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it. So I attempted to make a video about the Pokemon pull rates for what's the Japanese set called? I just looked it up. Mega Brave, the new Mega Evolution set that's coming out here in the States in a week and a day, I think it is. I gotta double check.
People are already ripping them. Right?
Which is crazy to me, and I'll never understand that. How people backdoor things. Nonetheless, and the Mega Lucario, the Mega Ultra Rare, which I found out that it's a Mega Ultra Rare, currently has a pop of 548 in a 10. Now, we do have to make a little asterisk here. Japanese cards are printed better, the quality's better, the looks better, the gloss, the shine, the texture, it's all better. So let's just keep that in mind. However, there's a video out there that I referenced where 240 boxes were ripped. And out of those 240 boxes, there were... Oh, crap, I'm going to have to pull up the video because I want to make sure I get the stat right. What was it? There was 5 Mega Ultra Rare cards pulled. Just 5, which is one in every, what was the number? 38 boxes, 39, whatever the number is. 42 boxes. So we know that it's ultra. Now there's 30 packs in a Japanese booster box. So if we just take 30, just call it 40, it would 40 give or take, whatever the number is, that's 1,200 packs. And you're getting one in every 1,200 packs. That's a lot, right?
Jeez.
That's very rare. Very, very rare. And it's a pop 548 at the time of recording here on September 18th in a PSA 10. Now, I've done the joy here of looking up the price for everyone to know. It's currently $655. Now, this isn't the English version where it's not out yet on the market. This has been out for about a month or so. Now, of course, there's a caveat that it's a brand new card, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. But I just want to kind of show the comparison between a card that is newly released with a low pop that has an insanely significantly low pull rate, very hard to pull, compared to a card that was free as a promo. Now, maybe because it's a promo, everyone's bending over backwards for it. I don't know. But just on a card that has a pop of 43,000, that's $2,200. So just trying to open people's eyes and just be like, does pop really matter? Now, of course, this card's pop is going to only go up as more and more hit the market. That is, something I fully acknowledge. As it stands, at least the product's been out for about a month. It's a $600 and something card in a PSA 10 with a pop of less than 600, and it is a quarter of the value of a card that has a pop of 43,000. Doesn't make any sense to me. But one's older than the other. I get that. One's a promo and this one's not. I get that. But to have a near $1,600 difference or $1,800 difference, whatever the number is, that kind of just astonished.
We kind of have to acknowledge the fact that it is a Japanese card as well. So that market is kind of...
And it's different, yeah. But like, I think collectors themselves, they don't mind the Japanese because A, it's significantly cheaper. Like, I'm curious to see what the English version of this will be.
Oh, God.
And secondly, the collectors like it because it's just a better printed card, better quality, better texture, everything I already mentioned. I don't know what the pull rate here in the States will be. I don't know how the conditions are going to be here in the States. But obviously this is the big chase card at the current moment. So I'm curious to kind of see how things will translate. Mega Lucario. I don't know what the card number is. I'm just gonna type in Mega Lucario. It's Japanese. Any English? No English ones yet. Oh,
Yeah, because I don't think PSA grades them until they're officially out.
I was just looking for like raw sales, just kind of get an idea.
Uh,
Mega Evolutions, Mega Lucario EX. Is this the English version? No, that's still Japanese. I don't see any no listings anywhere of the English version yet, which I think on TCG Play you technically can't sell them until release day. I don't know. I feel like I heard that somewhere or read that somewhere.
that's probably right.
Alrighty. Well, good Pokemon conversation here because there's always something kind of turning in the news about Pokemon. And I do want to talk about what's up?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought you did. I'm hearing voices. I'm going insane over here. I do want to talk about this article I literally found 5 minutes before we started recording. And it's called Pokemon Cards as an Investment. Once a hobby for kids, it's now a big time business. This came out almost a week ago. A recording from Mike Sullivan of CBS Boston. Now we've all seen the kind of the big news of people selling their Pokemon cards, the drastic increase of Pokemon. The market is Pokemon's doing better than like the S&P 500, and Pokemon's picked up a lot of steam. Now I kind of want to ask a question for us to kind of just sit and think about as I read this article. What is and if there is a ceiling to all of this? How much will that Lugia Altart eventually cost within the next 5 years, right? Obviously, if this is like a 25-year-old card, it's a different story. But like, if it's $1,300 now, within the next 12 months, is it going to be $4,000? So like, I just try to put it in perspective. It's like, how much further can it keep going until there's maybe something else that replaces it? Not going to sit here and say Lorcana like other people have, but just in perspective, like, what's the next thing? If there is a next thing. It's time to dig out your old Pokemon cards. Some financial experts believe they're an excellent investment. When Pokemon cards burst onto the scene in the late 1990s, most players and collectors never expected that they could be worth thousands of dollars 25 years later. According to Wall Street Journal article, some Pokemon cards have had more than a 3,000% return on investment since 2004, smashing the growth of the S&P 500 over the same time. Quote, it's crazy because people bought Pokemon cards as a playable game as a kid. Because it is a game. You made a $4 to $5 on a pack of cards, said Rod Crochier, owner of Pokemon Trainer Universe, a card shop in Franklin, Massachusetts. I've never heard of this shop. Now I'm going to look it up. Those cards you would pay a couple of dollars for. 25 years later, those cards are worth thousands of dollars. Huge caveat. Has to be in good shape. Can't just have a mangled, Venusaur base set unlimited, and it's going to be thousands of dollars. So obviously, let's make sure we're giving all the details here. Pokemon cards are a game that people play and compete with in tournaments. The game is what fuels its continuation, but the money comes from collecting. Get out of here. Highest value after pandemic. Quote, the beginning of the pandemic is what caused people to go out in their attics to look for the cards they had. They needed something to do, so they started getting back into Pokemon, said Crochier. The beginning of the pandemic, the cards were pretty much at their lowest, and at the end of the pandemic, they were at their highest they'd ever been. I mean, when do we want to pinpoint the end of the pandemic? Let's just say 2022, just to kind of put a number on it or put a year on it. They're significantly higher now than they were in 2022. So, Rod, I got a couple questions for you, pal, on your knowledge of the Pokemon here, or at least your transparency. In the hobby, quality is king. I've said that. Professional grading companies will grade cards on their condition, and typically that is on a scale of 1 to 10. A mint condition 10 will fetch the most money. I got something to tell you about that. Quote, it's more of an LOL, I promise. You're getting graded perfect examples of those cards. So the population of these cards is very low. Not true. We've expunged this, or no, not expunged. Exposed this, excuse me. you're getting graded perfect examples of those cards so that the population of these cards is very low. Clearly not true. Because of the fact that nobody took care of their card. Okay, vintage cards, maybe. Maybe I should read before I react. Because of the fact that nobody took care of the cards, a lot of the cards came back as lower grades, said Rod, explaining the rarity of some cards. For example, if you have a binder card that a kid kept, it's maybe going to be a 3 or 4 or maybe a 5 on a 1 to 10 grading. Maybe. Impact of influencers. In 2020, YouTuber Logan Paul famously purchased a Pokemon card from another collector for 150 grand. His card, a 10 grade first edition Charizard, is considered the holy grail of Pokemon cards. Rod said influencers and celebrities can make the value of a certain card temporarily shoot up just from their video content. People in the audience will go out and find those cards, and they want to share the same excitement and have the same cards at times. At Rod's shop, he also has sealed packs of cards dating back to the late 90s. One of those sealed packs, okay, I don't care, but when you weigh packs, it will tell you if it's a good pack or a bad pack. Hate that. The most expensive cards are holographic. Yeah, okay, we get the point. Now collectors can tell those holographic cards as a down payment on a home. Yeah, kind of true. If Logan Paul didn't buy this Charizard card, would it have boomed to what it is? Maybe, maybe not. But this is a very interesting perspective of at least local to me shop here in New England and Massachusetts. But I got some questions for Rod. But the little LOL thing I wanted to kind of touch on was, can I switch to this? Here we go. Boom. There we go. Can I zoom in? Oh, whoa.
Oh,
There we go.
Favorite colors.
Here we go. Again, this circles back to the question of the population report. Now, can I just please preface, I do acknowledge there is a condition difference between a Black Label 10 and a PSA 10. I'm not arguing that. However, people think that a PSA 10 is perfect. Sometimes it's not. We've been over this Victor Wembanyama Black 1 of 1 where it's a 70-30 centering on the front. We all probably have seen 10s that have some kind of chip in the corner or looks off-centered, okay? Let's just acknowledge that PSA 10s aren't always perfect. So I beg the question, look at the price difference. PSA 10s don't always fetch the most. Population, clearly, in this case, matters. And people are willing to pay for a low pop card. Although a drastic price difference, I'm not the one paying 15 grand for the card, so I could really care less. I'm just here kind of just spewing what I'm seeing, what I'm reading, and giving my thoughts on the matter.
Yeah, I know you love this argument.
It's great. I love it. It just blows my mind that PSA 10 has the most resale value. Clearly not.
Well, just by looking at the numbers, though, more people could afford the PSA 10 than the Black Label.
More people can afford a 9, but people don't buy 9s. Oh, I should say, well, some people don't buy 9s. That's obviously an incorrect statement. I will happily buy a 9 all damn day. I will happily buy a 9. Now, I just want to admit that this artwork is pretty awesome. Can we just the Arbok, the crab, I forget the high-looking crab thing in the background.
Hermit crab, no?
Pesticide? I don't know, whatever it is. But Gengar behind Pikachu, very cool card. So, I had somebody comment.
The Chinese sets have some nice cards.
They do.
Yeah.
I love how, this one, I guess Chinese simplified is CS, and then this one says simplified Chinese. Whatever. Labels are labels, as long as it tells me what it is. Now, I had somebody respond to, because I shared this. People may have saw this, people may not have, but I shared this. And let's see, can I get to the, hold on. Sorry, we're going through my whole story here. We'll get there. Oh, maybe we won't get there. Anyways, now I'm gonna have to find the post. Hold on. I commented saying that, but PSA has the most resale value. To which someone responded saying, what did they say? Hold on. I'm just gonna read it because I don't want to expose them because I like the guy. Bro, let it go. Black labels have always been better. Which one is it? Black Label's being better or PSA has the most resale value? What is it?
Gosh.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Wait.
Listen,
Share screen. Here we go.
for
This is what I said.
Ferraris are better than Toyotas, but Toyotas are easier to sell.
That is a fantastic way to look at it. Wow. You're I guess, yeah. I guess it depends on who you're selling it to. I guess that plays a factor into this as well. Who you're selling it to. I just wish we could have a neutral, acceptant knowledge that PSA 10s are a lot easier to sell than maybe even 9s. But they don't carry the most resale value. If everybody could just accept that, I'll stop poking fun. I just we'll never get there. But I'm all for that connotation. What you said, PSA 10 being a Corolla or a Toyota, and the Beckett Black Labels being a Ferrari. I'm going to use that. That's awesome. Thank you for that. I'm going to use that. Okay, that was pretty good. Let me write down the conversation that we had. So I jotted down basketball cards, and we can wrap this up shortly because we're already past an hour. But I wanted to jot down basketball cards because nobody's talking about basketball cards for due reason, right? Football just started. Pokemon's obviously, massively on the scene right now. Whether people like it or not, baseball, the season's winding down, the playoffs are looming, teams are clinching their spots. So there's a lot going on in other sports. But I can't remember a time, not just in the hobby, that included, but just out of the hobby, just from a fan perspective, that nobody's talking about basketball. Nobody wants
weird.
a Wemby card who's going to be back. I couldn't even tell you who the first overall pick was in this year's draft class, to be honest. And I know that the Celtics, fringe playoff team, 4 through 7 seed, maybe. Oh, duh. Thank you. Okay. I couldn't tell you who the second pick was. Cooper Flag. But nobody's talking about Cooper Flag. He's supposed to be this generational player, this generational talent. He's on, I don't want to say a big market team because the Mavs aren't a big market team, but they're going to be good this year.
Yeah, they'll be good.
But nobody's just, and he's a local kid too. He's from Maine. I just don't feel like there's any buzz around Cooper Flag. I'm glad you reminded me. Very embarrassed. I couldn't even tell you who the second overall pick was. But there's just no buzz. Nobody cares. I think it's bizarre to me. Maybe it's a local thing. I don't know. But basketball's still selling. Over the last selling, it's going up. More and more people are buying and more people are selling. It just blows my mind.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
I'm not seeing as many for sale basketball cards posts on Facebook either. My baseball groups, I have whatever. It's really baseball and football right now.
And for me, I guess I'm only seeing it at the local level, whether it's at shows or here at the shop. And obviously you're in Facebook groups and you buy and sell and trade online. So you're exposed to a lot more different type of people than I am, at different corners of the country. So you not seeing basketball cards for sale, I think is a little bit of a, more shocking than kind of my perspective on it because you're more out there, dealing and looking at cards from, again, other places where if I don't see it at a show or if it doesn't get brought into the shop, then I don't see it. So I'm glad that you kind of backed me up on that because maybe I'm just not seeing it because it's just not here. If you said that, oh yeah, I'm seeing it everywhere on Facebook and on Instagram, blah, 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 then okay, maybe it's just a me thing. But again, it's still selling. I mean, the dead off season right here and the season starts a month from now, give or take.
Yeah, because I remember the other day, this YouTuber, someone put on to a story sale on Instagram, and they had a Black Label 10 autograph 10, De'Aaron Fox Prism rookie autograph.
That's nice.
And it was only $1,500 only. $1,500. I remember thinking to myself when I saw that. That seems so cheap.
It really does.
So compared to his hype 2-3 years ago, And now he's on a team now. Spurs are going to be good.
With Wemby.
Right.
Takes a lot of pressure off of Wemby having to handle the ball.
Wemby's, Castle, Kessel. So they're going to be good. But yeah, I just remember thinking to myself, I didn't look it up or anything because I'm not going to buy it, but I just remember thinking to myself that seems so cheap. So I don't know if that's a reflection of the market as a whole, or maybe, who knows? Maybe he was just giving us a good deal. But
I wonder. Now, this is maybe me thinking outside the box, and I definitely want to get your thoughts on it. Is maybe because the hobby as a whole doesn't care about veteran cards and it's just rookies. No one cares about out of 15 Steph Currys or LeBrons or just other superstars still playing nearly as much. Oh, actually, maybe the flippers don't care about those cards nearly as much. They do about rookie cards, because time and time again, people have gotten burnt so frequently on rookie cards. You can go back to Zion. You can take a look at Cade Cunningham. Now, both of those guys, now that they're kind of behind they're ahead of injuries. They're not getting injured as much. They're playing very, very well, but nobody's talking about it. We could take a look at Paulo Banchero. These are all first overall picks within the last 5 draft classes, give or take. And just nobody cares. Cade Cunningham being on the terrible Detroit Pistons played very good basketball. Nobody's talking about it. After a bad leg injury too. Obviously Zion with all of his injuries and the porn scandal and all that fun stuff. Nobody's talking about it because people got burned so many times that let me buy all these Zion cards. Oh, he's out 4 to 6 weeks with a hamstring. And then you look at Paulo Banchero, another bad injury, comes back. Magic were, I think, the 4 seed this past year, and they only got better this offseason. It's just exactly another year of development for their core. So it's just like there are former top rookies that are probably pretty affordable and accessible in 9s or 10s in PSA or Beckett, whatever grade, whatever floats your boat. And just nobody's talking about it. Again, not a lot of people are talking about Cooper Flagg, at least not that I'm seeing. Maybe elsewhere they're talking about him. It's ever since the rookie draft class, the rookie draft class of Wembanyama, you still had Brandon Miller and Scoot Henderson. And Scoot's been a little bit of a disappointment. Brandon Miller was playing good till he got injured. Obviously, Wemby was Wemby until he got injured. But the two, at least last year's draft class, had little to no buzz, and this draft class has little to no buzz. Is it Wemby's fault because he set such a high ceiling and a high bar? Is it because he got injured? I don't know what it is, but the basketball landscape is declining rapidly.
Right.
Or has eroded, I should say. So
I think it has a lot to do with that, with both Topps and Panini Cat milking their cash cow too. Wemby. They're just flooding the market with like new sets just to get out new Wemby rookies.
yeah, I just
I don't know.
recently, I don't know how recent, maybe months ago, recent at this point, 6 months ago, I think I got a 23-24 Immaculate hobby box 6 months ago, which was what, March-ish? Again, ish. I don't remember exactly. But like, we were still getting Wemby rookie stuff, and you can't even pull his autos. Keep that in mind, because it's a Panini product. 2 years later, after the kid was drafted, it just blows my mind. And now we're going to year 3 of Wemby. He's going to be healthy. We've already talked about the Spurs, and still nobody are talking about him, and nearly as much as they once did. I'd say fractionally compared to how they once did. So
maybe that means it's time to start buying.
That's what I thought too, and I picked up a bunch of affordable Wembys for anywhere from $20 to like $200, and it just doesn't move the needle around here. Outside of some Celtics cards for some Celtics fans, basketball is not moving the needle around here. So I might pivot and kind of have the basketball case have like a row of something else, just because I want to make sure I use that space, properly, I guess, or efficiently, because I can't sell empty glass, but I can sell cards. So that will wrap it up for today. We had an excellent discussion revolving about many different things. It feels like we're sitting here so soon after we recorded our last episode, because we recorded it a day after the normal, so on the Friday after, and it's only been 13 days, but it feels like it's been a week. I kept looking at the calendar. I'm like, no, it's been 2 weeks, because I didn't want to like reach out to you and be like, and just be embarrassed, be like, oh, it's only been a week, Murph. So I definitely wanted to avoid that. But hopefully everybody enjoyed today's episode, us bickering and discussing and talking about a variety of different topics, sports and Pokemon included. But Ricky, what is your outgoing take as we wrap up today's episode?
My outgoing take. I won't brush on this. We didn't really have time. I'll talk about it more next time. But don't get caught up in the market manipulation, the pump and dumps. You know, you see this with everything: stocks, crypto, cards. If it doesn't, like, there are cards that I'm seeing online that just should not be shooting up. Like, there's no
Drowsy
logical there's no logical reason why it should be going up. Like the latest post I saw is people trying to pump the promos from the Sea and Sky boxes. It's like there's so many out there. It's not a crazy card. Like, it's just a regular card. There's no reason it should be going up. But people, you always see posts like, oh, I can't believe this card is so low. Or, wow, this is such a nice card. It's so slept on. So it's just like, don't get caught up in the market manipulation. And it just all circles back to the what you like argument.
About the what argument? You cut out.
The buy what you like.
I agree completely, and I'm glad you brought up that that promo example, because I was gonna even mention this whole Barboach card from Paldea Evolved. Just this regular comment is just going through the roof right now. I guess it was in some song, and now people are going crazy over it, and they're trying to drive up the price, which I think they have, from like 2 cents on TCG Player to I think it's at like $2 now. Not a drastic change, but I mean, what is that up?
That's
$100. Exactly, yeah. So, I mean, now take a $2 card and multiply that by 100%. Then you take a $50 card and multiply it. It escalates and escalates. So no, I agree. Market manipulation, especially in Pokemon, and I think sports have had their fair share of it. But Pokemon itself, just because it's such the forefront of the hobby right now, and it's just such a hot topic, crazy topic right now, is definitely something to, like you said, try to avoid. And you kind of, reiterated what I've been preaching forever: just buy what you like, not what other people tell you to like, and you'll have a much better time in this hobby. I completely agree with you. What's my outgoing? I should have thought about it while you were talking, but I was just too busy listening. Crap. I guess my outgoing take would be, maybe I mentioned this before, but I can't remember, is just proceed with caution online. Whether you're joining breaks, you're joining repacks, you're joining, you're buying Raz spots, you're buying just singles online, or whatever it may be, from people on Facebook, Instagram, whatnot, wherever. Just proceed with caution. I'm not going to sit here and tell you not to do it, as much as I'm not a fan of whatnot and breaks and repacks, whatever. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it. Fine. Spend your own money however you want, but just proceed with caution. Make sure you're making the right decision. Make sure you're making a good decision, and just don't, whatever the outcome may be from that break, that repack, or, whatever, buy with confidence, regret it. And I think that's, if some people can have that logic a little bit better than just saying, F it, join, or F it, give me a $200 repack bag. Just feel confident, be good about it. And I think we can hopefully have a much better time, participating in online purchases, again, regardless of the platform or the landscape. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for me. I think that's a good place to land this ship. Everybody, thank you so much for watching today's episode. hour and 20 minutes, maybe our longest. Not exactly sure, but it's definitely going to be up there. But thank you so much for watching. Smash thumbs up button, comment down below, and of course, subscribe to the channel. Check out the channel membership program. I've queued up the next video to cover Ricky's face right there. Hopefully, if you enjoyed this video, I think you'll enjoy that one. So click on that one, and I'll see you in that video. Take care. Bye.